Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming today. I'm Assistant Chief Constable Tom McLaughlin, and I'm the Senior Officer leading the investigation into the Legacy Independent Funeral Directors in Hull and East Riding. I have with me today colleagues from Hull City Council and the East Riding of Yorkshire Council. Firstly, I would like to offer my sincere gratitude to the families and loved ones and to all of those who've been affected and impacted since the launch of this investigation 4 weeks ago. From the outset, they have acted with dignity and patience, recognising the enormity of the task in hand and the challenges faced by my investigators, and I know that this cannot have been easy for them. In full consultation with families and His Majesty's Coroner, extensive work continues to formally identify the 35 deceased who were recovered from the Hessel Road site 4 weeks ago. As I'm sure you can appreciate, this is a lengthy process that has to follow the coroner's regulations, but when complete, it will provide families with an absolute assurance as to the identity of their loved ones so that repatriation to their families can take place. I remain committed to keeping bereaved families at the heart of this investigation. Therefore, these results will only be provided to the direct family members to ensure their privacy and dignity is maintained. Since the start of our investigation, a dedicated phone line has received over 2,000 calls from concerned members of the public. Of those, a significant number were, understandably, concerned about the identification of ashes and of their loved ones. Having worked closely with forensic scientists and specialists to assess whether it was possible to extract DNA from the human ashes in order to identify them, whilst the expert opinion provides us with an assurance that proper crematorium processes have been followed, unfortunately, given the high temperature required to carry out cremation, the DNA will have been broken down and degraded to such a level that we would not be able to recover a meaningful DNA profile. This means that we are unable to attribute any of the human ashes or identify them. This will, of course, be devastating news for families and loved ones, and you have my heartfelt condolences at this really difficult time. This weekend, officers from the investigation team have been in contact with over 700 families who raised concerns through our helpline and updated them regarding the scientific advice and to provide them with specific support. Our specially trained family liaison officers continue to support and update the families of the 35 deceased, and we have also been in contact with a number of families regarding the ashes recovered from the premises. In addition, we have had a significant number of calls that relate to suspected financial and fraudulent activity. I have a dedicated specialist investigation team carrying out numerous inquiries, and they are following up on various leads in relation to those financial investigations. If you have any concerns over funeral plans that you or a loved one may have taken out, in the first instance, please contact your insurance company to establish whether or not the policy is legitimate. If not, please report this matter to the police by calling 101 or via our Humberside Police website, where your inquiry will be crimed and you'll be contacted subsequently by part of the investigation team. I can confirm that a man and woman still remain on police bail in relation to the investigation and that our extensive inquiries will continue. I would now like to hand you over to Julia Weldon from Hull City Council, who will be able to provide you with further information.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Julia Weldon. I'm Director of Public Health and Deputy Chief Executive at Hull City Council. Hull and East Riding of Yorkshire Councils have been working alongside Humberside Police since the ongoing investigation began. The councils have been leading and coordinating the work to understand what immediate and ongoing help and support those directly affected by the incident and the wider community will need. We are continuing to work with our local and national partners to provide this. We recognise that this has been an exceptionally difficult time for families and our community, and my heart goes out to all of you. I wanted to let you know we are here for all those affected, directly or indirectly across our community. In a moment, Angela will speak in detail about the voluntary visits undertaken at funeral directors across Hull and East Riding. I do hope this will give reassurance to local people. I want to thank both teams and the funeral directors themselves for ensuring these visits were undertaken in a timely way and for their shared commitment to supporting families and our community. As the situation continues to move forward, there will be many more people in need of guidance, advice and support. Our dedicated helpline and support service is there for you. For anybody with ongoing concerns, whether they are directly or indirectly affected by the incident, we have a dedicated service provided by Victim Support, which can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The helpline and support service provided is there to help, and whether you need practical or emotional support, we'll ensure you are connected as quickly as possible to people and services that can help you, and we will be there with you for as long as you need us. I also wanted to let you know that we are working alongside the family liaison officers at Humberside Police to support families at the centre of this incident. Our message to them is that when they are ready to discuss funeral arrangements, we will be there for them, and they do not need to worry about costs. Finally, I want to urge anyone affected who needs help to reach out and call our dedicated help and support service. That number is 0808 281 1136, and it's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Please don't hesitate if you need our support. I'll now hand over to Angela, who will explain more about the funeral director visits.
Thank you, Julia. Good afternoon. I'm Angela Deering, Director of Housing, Transportation and Public Protection at the East Riding of Yorkshire Council. As a consequence of the police investigation, our public protection teams, along with our partners from Hull City Council, have visited every funeral director operating in our area. Over 3 weeks, we have visited 50 premises to review compliance with health and safety regulations, operational procedures and care of the deceased, and to offer support and advice to businesses. Whilst the sector is not formally regulated nationally, the visits were an opportunity for us to look at a number of key areas of funeral directors' businesses. These voluntary visits were conducted in partnership with funeral directors in order to give reassurance to customers and our local funeral directors. All the businesses we visited were receptive if any advice or suggestions were made. It is very clear from our visits that the ongoing incident at Legacy Independent Funeral Directors is in no way typical of the funeral industry in our area. We would like to thank all the funeral businesses for their cooperation, professionalism and for their support of these visits. And we hope this highlights the commitment funeral directors in our area have in upholding best practice and to serving the needs of the community. I'll now hand you back to the Assistant Chief Constable.
Thank you, Angela. We must remember that at the core of this investigation are heartbroken and devastated families and loved ones. I recognise that this has been a very difficult and distressing time for those involved, and there is no doubt that the impact has been felt right across our community. I am sure that you will continue to have questions, and I want to offer you my personal reassurance that we will continue to release updates on significant developments where we are able. But we do need to be mindful not to jeopardise ongoing investigations, and I would just like to ask people to refrain from speculating and continue to show the utmost respect for the privacy of those bereaved families within our communities. Thank you.